Welcome to another episode of Instead of the Anthems, the pre-show for the longest-running Canucks podcast in the world. I'm Chris at Lightforce, joined virtually on screen by Anna Forsyth at E4C03. For anyone who is wondering who that is, we decided to go live for everyone. Like this is like a public. Everyone can tune in. Normally, this is exclusively for just our patrons, which in that regard, look, the banner down below tells you just as much. This is like high quality production.
Yeah, but we're letting the riff-raff in, all the plebs.
The plebs. Is that truly what we want to call the people who are
I
tuning
say it with
in?
love.
Oh, okay. Plebs with love.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to give you like some big props here for misspelling Iota in C4 Discord.
Yeah, acronyms are hard. Any spelling is hard according to the Canucks and me. So
true. Well, okay. On that note, I have to ask: is it Silovs? Is that his like name? Because the Canucks
were you actually starting to doubt yourself at one point?
I am. Like, okay, you know what? I totally get it. Like, you're throwing, like, you have how many ever letters in the whatever trainer's suitcase, and they're slapping it together to put his name on a jersey. You know what? Mistakes have happened. This isn't the first time we've seen it from a team. It's not going to be the last time. But then to have their social media graphic run with it, and not just one misspelled name. No, also, mix up Howerlook. Like,
see, I think it's easier to misspell a social media graphic than a jersey. Like, you're actually placing the jerseys. I get that you're in a rush, but like, it's not that long a name.
But the thing is, like, the social media graphic to that point had two typos because it totally went with Silvos as well as
Howerlook. Yeah, I don't know how they had spelt Howerlook, but not correctly.
Do we know if Jace had his name spelled correctly on the back of his jersey?
I presume they haven't started spelling it wrong.
Like he shows up at the rink today and finds out that he's been renamed.
Yeah, just like deep fake. It's just like, we never got it wrong.
Yeah. But
I realized that I usually rely on my autocorrect that I've taught how to spell Canucks names. And PD hasn't played for so long that it doesn't know how to spell Pedersen anymore. So I'm trying to teach it that again.
Oh, I don't know actually if I were to spell Pedersen, if my phone would get angry or not. I normally just say PD.
Well,
because I'm lazy. I don't want to type in the Pedersen.
Yeah, Howerlook, that's a tricky one to fight against your phone.
Are tricky ones. Like like today we were talking about goaltenders in C4 Discord, and I had to look up the spelling of Van Beesbrook just so that it didn't, because I was like, I'm just going to say the Beezer. But then I'm like, okay, there are members of C4 Discord who may not remember that he was a Vancouver Canuck for a brief period of time and wouldn't even necessarily know who the Beezer is.
Yeah, so. I mean, count me among them.
Oh, he was actually a pretty solid goaltender for New York, and when the Vancouver Canucks acquired him, it was truly to protect. I think they were protecting Kirk McLean, but they didn't want to lose Kay Whitmore or something like that, their backup.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, by having Beezer on the roster, they had sort of provided themselves insurance because the rule was you couldn't lose more than one. You couldn't lose more than one goaltender because there was Florida and Tampa.
Right.
There were a couple teams in that expansion draft. So anyhow, it was shrewd playmaking or shrewd trading. It was the deal that sent Doug Lidster to the New York Rangers back when future considerations was actually a thing.
I mean, it still happens.
No, it's conditional. Like there's conditional draft picks and stuff, but there's no future considerations.
I've seen it.
When?
I don't remember, but like I feel like someone can pull me up. Like, and it just happens. I was saying it's happened in like the last year.
Oh,
like once or twice in my like Maybe once in the last 2 years I've seen it, but I've seen it for sure.
In hockey?
Yeah. What else would it be in?
Well, no, because so baseball, for instance, baseball trades often have like these in
You
the
mean
future.
weird cricket? Like, I don't know.
Weird, okay, weird cricket, whatever you want to call it. But the point is that in the NHL used to be future considerations simply meant we might send you something.
We'll consider it in the future.
Because essentially the team that agreed to the future considerations was saying, yeah, take our player. We're not really too concerned what you send us in return. We'll sort that out later. So to put things into perspective, the team that was making that deal and taking futures in return was essentially happy to see the player go away for what might turn into, like, I don't know, a couple sticks and a hockey puck. And I think in sort of today's NHL, you can't do that because the implication of the cap and the business side.
Okay, but apparently Mark Stoll was traded for future considerations.
Like not conditional pick? When did this trade happen?
Last year. Detroit Red Wings acquired defenseman Mark Stoll and a second-round draft pick from the New York Rangers for future considerations.
What did the future considerations turn into?
I don't know.
That seems so weird.
See, I knew I'd seen it somewhat recently.
Okay. Well, anyhow, it used to happen so much more frequently. All the deal, like there was a ton of deals, futures. Essentially, it's the hockey sticks and athletic tape,
right?
Maybe a couple water bottles. So, anywho, how was your weekend? It's been a while since I spoke to you last.
I know, literally 3 days. I mean, it was rainy, so didn't do a ton. I watched some cricket.
Ooh.
Watched a hockey game.
Ooh.
Did some reading.
Ooh.
That's about it. What about you?
Well, we had so baby Forrest got to go to a soccer practice in the rain, and for the first 20 minutes, she wasn't happy, telling me she was cold, and me trying to explain, well, if you move around, you warm up. And then for like the last sort of 35, 40 minutes, when she started moving, she was much happier and really enjoyed soccer practice.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that, like, you just have to convince kids to get over the initial discomfort.
And I would presume the weather that you would have experienced would be similar to the weather that I experienced growing up. But like for me, growing up in playing soccer here, if it wasn't raining, it meant it was like ball season. It wasn't soccer season anymore. Like it was just always wet, always raining. If it wasn't raining, it was like it had rained.
Yeah. I mean, pretty similar conditions. It's funny. I play netball over here, and over here it's an indoor sport, whereas back in the UK it's an outdoor sport for the most part. So, like, I've played netball in the snow. I did play a whole netball tournament in Worcester in the pouring rain, so that was fun.
So is it set up on like a soccer pitch?
No, it's like a hard court.
Oh, okay.
Like
so like what?
Asphalt.
Yeah. So like a lacrosse box or a hockey, sort of outdoor hockey rink type thing.
But like not like a flat floor. It's like concrete. It's like asphalt. Like the stuff that comes up. Okay.
But like an outdoor hockey rink or lacrosse box, it's like concrete with boards and that. Or is it
I've
like
only seen
basketball?
Once, so I mean, I guess it's like basketball.
Yeah. So essentially, are there boards or not?
Oh, no.
Okay, no boards, and it's like basketball or like just a concrete sort of play space.
Yeah. And also we shoot without backboards, so it's harder.
Oh, Jay. So this whole hot tub streaming phenomena, which is weird because apparently it's big money on Twitch right now.
Is that what I think it is?
It's essentially live streaming, like just like this, just chatting, but you and I would be in hot tubs.
Our own separate hot tubs?
Well, considering we don't live together, yes. But like, I don't know what triggered this phenomena.
That's super weird.
but it's legitimate. Like, oh, hey, I'm playing video games from the hot tub, or I'm streaming from the hot tub, like
That sounds
just
like a
chatting.
health and safety violation, like with your controller in the hot tub.
Maybe, but I mean, I think for the most part, what I've seen is it's mostly been like just chatting on Twitch specifically. But like, I actually wonder. So when we think about live streaming, there are sort of loose rules. Each platform has their own, but the idea is you need to be clothed,
Right.
and being in the hot tub sort of gets you around that because you're allowed to wear like clothing that is conducive to the space. And so, like as Jay's saying, it's a loophole for bikini streamers, but I've seen people of all genders hop in the hot tub and stream themselves.
I mean, I still have the Twitch app downloaded from the NWHL, but I haven't been on it since. So maybe I should.
Hey, you should go check out some of the hot tub streamers. Next thing you know, we'll have like a new Iota for patrons. Come, join Chris and Anna in the hot tub.
It makes me think of. I swear I've seen this at baseball as well as like random Australian cricket games, but like where they have hot tubs. Is that's the thing? I'm not imagining it.
Yeah, and I'm sure like there's different. That's more promotional. Like you get to watch the game from the hot tub, and there's like they provide beer or whatever. Like that part. I mean, I sort of get it's the promotional component, and obviously different sports, different people, different areas. But like the actual streaming part.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like camming more than anything.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But to each their own.
I don't know if anyone wants to see me in a hot tub. I don't know if I want to see me in a hot tub.
Well, we'll never know unless we try. So we just have to get a hot tub.
Well, so let's see. We have to, not only do we have to get a hot tub, then we have to have the infrastructure set up to stream from the hot tub. Like in theory, we could, find respective hot tubs. And if, let's say, where we are has Wi-Fi, we could set up our like laptops to stream like from the hot tub to StreamYard, which is what we use here. We could in theory do this, Anna.
There you go. That's a project. Jay has a hot tub, he says. So Iota from Jay's hot tub. Well, it's an option.
We'll have to put that down on the list.
Okay.
So C4 live stream from Jay's hot tub.
I mean, last week I think we thought about going on a patio, going on separate tables, and yelling at each other.
True. We did consider that. Thinking about hot tubs though, I wonder how popular hot tubs will be as we sort of come out of the pandemic, because like they were. Oh, Jay doesn't have a hot tub, so our dreams have been reversed. But like hot tubs are essentially soup.
Yeah.
And yes, they're treated with chlorine or bromine or whatever, but
hope it's not bromine. Wouldn't that turn your skin yellow?
Maybe, I don't know. But like it needs to be treated though.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I'm pretty sure bromine is what you had in science class that would dye your skin.
Maybe. I don't know. I know it's popular.
Not at all fun fact, but they used to put it in the tea of soldiers to keep their libido down whilst they were at war.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That is not very fun. This was in like World War One, by the way.
This? Like, is this
history?
This what they teach you in history class?
Maybe history class. Maybe it was chemistry class, and our teacher just somehow knew it. But yeah, that's all I remember from chemistry class. By the way, did not do well in any science. Dropped that as fast as I could.
Yeah. Interesting enough that I'm watching our viewer count, and as we were talking about us getting into hot tubs, the numbers went up, and as we slowly moved away from talking about hot tubs, the numbers went down. I don't know if there's a correlation there or not.
Hot tub.
Yeah.
I think people were just very excited the idea of you in a hot tub, apparently.
I'm not excited about me in a hot tub.
Well, you're in the minority.
I wonder how many people, if anyone who's tuning into this that doesn't obviously see Iota, was expecting like us talking about hockey or the Canucks.
Yeah, true. I mean, sometimes we do. Sometimes our Iotas get really serious and we waste all our good points. Not waste.
Yeah, and Iota. We give them away freely.
Yeah, and then forget about them during the show.
Yeah.
That does happen.
It does happen. No, if I'm going to just actually give, Clay and Parker a plug, because I imagine they'll be recording tonight their Canucks After Dark live stream, 10 p.m. on Monday nights.
Okay, I was going to say, do they have to get later and later during the summer?
Oh, because it's not dark yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I guess if you start at 10, that kind of covers your bases.
True. I have to admit, the Canucks After Dark stream and Clay just doesn't add up.
No, I definitely thought 10 p.m. was past his bedtime.
Well, no, okay. That could be true. I don't know. But no, I just like Clay is like wholesome. Canucks After Dark does not imply wholesome. It's a good
maybe
thing.
it's just literally after dark and there's nothing. It's still wholesome.
To your point then, what are they going to do? Well, maybe in June if they're still recording. I don't know. Neil's over here asking us if we can see the dumpster fire of the team in the playoffs. It's possible.
It's getting less and less likely every time they step out on the ice. But
like the game, like arguably, so long as the games in hand are sufficient to get the Canucks back into a contention with, I think after tonight, Montreal has that fourth spot. It's Calgary's kind of going to be out of the picture here. So as long as the Vancouver Canucks get wins with every one of those games in hand.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that they wasted 2 good shots at Ottawa.
Oh, no doubt. But like still 5 games in hand, 10 points behind, right? Like that's enough to put pressure. So every time they lose one of those games in hand, it's the mountain is unfortunately significantly harder to climb.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see after our back-to-back this week.
Back-to-back, break, back-to-back, break, back-to-back, break, back-to-back.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, man. Did anything come out of the Calgary Flames COVID sitch with, I think it was Levo?
They all returned negative tests the next day. So despite keep staying in practice.
False positives or?
I'm not sure if Levo returned a negative the next day, but everyone else did for sure. But I guess the problem with the Canucks was the P1 variant, really, wasn't it? It just went through the team like that.
Yeah. Well, and out here, I mean, everything's now being considered a variant, whether it's P1, B11.7, or there's the double mutation, which is B7. Yeah.
I've had some pretty bad horror stories of friends of friends with the variant. So,
I think
stay safe out there.
A father in his 40s, my sister knew through my nephew's school, unfortunately passed away and had picked up the variant. So, this is like my age.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously it's a little bit older, but yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that it's still, impacting people.
And I mean, as much as you talk about players being in their peak physical fitness, one, like clearly that didn't really matter to much of the Canucks, and 2, like the athletes are only one part of the like mini bubble sort of the playing environment, right? You've got coaches and support staff and broadcasters. Broadcasters are kept away from them.
The extension is the family, though, right? Like the number of vectors that exist within that sort of transmission chain is quite significant. So it's, I think, run its course through the this is the part, like I completely get the privacy of the families, but we know that all the players themselves have gotten that protocol. So I'm hoping that each of their households is in good shape too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there is a positive to come from this, and again, this is like very loose because would rather none of them have actually gotten sick, is that by publicly sharing that, one, it was a variant, and two, it was going through the team, and then stressing how these were, athletes in their prime and they were getting knocked on their butts, helped sort of resonate that with, I think, a younger audience that may have been
I hope
skeptical
so.
or not as concerned,
I mean,
sort of thinking, well, I'm young.
Yeah, with all the kind of precautions they have in place.
Mhm.
Yes, they were still able to get it, and yes, it was able to affect them pretty badly. I mean, Tyler Mott was not in the lineup for the first couple of games back. Demko was really suffering, and you only have to look at the performance on the ice to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
like,
whether tonight or even this past weekend, you can tell players are just their conditioning is not where it was.
Yeah.
Right. So it's taken a toll. And I think we talked about this on the main show. I have a woman I used to work with. She picked it up last March. Essentially, coworker brought it into the office, and it hit a number of people, including her. She recovered. It was a tough period of time for her. She was not hospitalized. But when I say recovered, she still suffers from some of the long haul symptoms, where there are days where just suddenly it's like she's winded getting out of a chair, or coughing fits just out of nowhere. So, I mean, again,
scary, yeah.
It's a situation that there are still so many question marks about. Now, how is that going to impact players? Like, if any one of these players were to suffer long haul symptoms, and arguably it's possible, how does that impact their career moving forward? Right?
Yeah.
So it'll be good once everyone gets their, was it jab is the term?
I mean, that's what
I noticed there are people here in North America who are kind of like, why is it called a jab? It's called a needle.
Well, but you jab someone with a needle, do you not?
Oh no, I mean that's what I call it. But again, I'm not British, but I listen to a lot of like.
Hey, you have British ancestry.
I do, there are things that I know because of sort of the familial connection, like the old country influences. But I'm a colonial through and through. I should be flipping my table right now saying it's a needle. Neil's asking, are either of us vaccinated? I am not yet vaccinated. Nope. I'm technically eligible for the AstraZeneca,
but I assume it's
impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'm closer. I'm getting closer because I am about to be aged as of Thursday when I turn 30.
30.
Officially old.
30. Yeah. What does that? So if you're old, what does it make me? Ancient?
Yeah.
Okay. I can run with that. Someone was asking me like, oh, why didn't you get the AstraZeneca vaccine? I can't. I mean, maybe I'm sure if I tried harder, I could probably find a pharmacy somewhere.
But I think you would have to be like driving around pharmacies, like,
or calling them or going. Yeah, exactly. And
like full-time job would be finding one.
And when I'd sort of become eligible, also was around the same time that, Marnie had her surgery, and I didn't want to go in and introduce this potential, I'm not afraid of it, but it's possible that I'm not 100% after getting it. And
you don't want to be sick around her.
Exactly. So, now that she's better and she herself is eligible too, I mean, if the opportunity were to present itself, I think both of us will get whatever is available to us at the time. But outside of the AstraZeneca through the pharmacy, I have registered online.
Yes.
So
I just wait.
Yeah, I think, what do they say? They're starting to reach out to the high 50s now.
I don't know
BC.
How I'm trying not to monitor it day by day because I'll just drive myself crazy with it. But yeah, I mean, most of my family is fully vaccinated. it's tough to see
Well,
that, but
domestic production,
yeah.
right? Like and it's mostly, I think it's AstraZeneca, is it not? As to what is the primary vaccine in
I
the
mean,
UK?
I don't think any of my family have AstraZeneca, as
Oh,
far as
really?
I know. I think they're
Wasn't
all
it?
Pfizer.
Oh, okay. I thought AstraZeneca, because like, wasn't it developed by,
Yeah, Oxford
yeah.
University. But yeah. So but they're just way ahead with their rollout, just like everything.
Well, I mean, and this is the struggle, like, and you'll start seeing it, the rollout in the province has been a joke. I'm not going to suggest I know how to improve upon it, but regardless of the rollout, the fact that there's just not vaccine available to necessarily go into arms.
Yeah.
I don't know how if supply is an issue, I don't know what can be done to improve upon it.
But it's just like Canada was so prepared. And
Well,
and
some of that has to do with like the United States, who is our primary supplier in almost everything. Not shipping. Like, I think the US has 60 million doses of the AstraZeneca simply warehoused.
Yeah. Although apparently, what are they shipping? 40 million up north?
To us, they might be around the
as
world.
Of this week.
Like to India. And because if they were shipping 40 million doses of AstraZeneca to Canada, everyone in Canada who wants one has a
No,
first
I
dose.
think that 40 million is the total
that they're going to ship worldwide.
Yeah.
Because I think the bulk of what they have would probably go towards India, who's in a real bad spot right now.
Very bad. Yes, I'm following the IPL, which is the cricket league over there, and there's been quite a few players either pulling out or going home. And just this morning, Pat Cummins, who plays for the team I support, Kolkata Knight Riders, he just donated $40,000, I think, to the COVID effort. Yeah, it's pretty scary over there. Like, definitely feel better over here.
I mean, the population, is problematic simply because once we think about how our hospitals are starting to get inundated, the population in India is significantly higher. And once the, transmission rate becomes exponential, there's only limited capacity in the country. And on top of that, I was reading online, like they're actually having issues maintaining oxygen supplies.
Yeah, and it's all over. I mean, just because of the Twitter world I live in, it's all over my Twitter because of the cricket people I follow. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully things start to improve. Vaccination rolls out. Like, I think the BC numbers here are starting to sort of trend downwards.
Yeah, plateau at least.
And in the numbers and data support the fact that in the age groups that have been vaccinated or the hyper targeted areas, the actual infection rate just plummets.
Yeah.
But more importantly, the hospitalization rate plummets. Like Prince Rupert, which is essentially an immunized city now, across the board, numbers are I think where they were provincially last summer.
Yeah, that's a relief because I think they were doing very badly up there at one stage.
So, I mean, as things roll out, they'll improve.
That's good.
Anywho, well, we've got a main show.
Covered like hot tubs to COVID. Like, I mean, I guess there is a link, but
maybe make sure you physically distance in 2 separate hot tubs with plexiglass in between. But no, I mean, that's what Iota is about. So for anyone who is tuning into this for the very first time, instead of the Anthems, which is exclusively to our patrons under normal circumstances, is something we record each and every week prior to our main show. Where the main show is where we talk about hockey and the Vancouver Canucks for the most part. Off season gets a little loose, but this is sort of our hangout with our community, chat with whoever's in chat, and talk about all sorts of things that might be on our mind. So if it's of interest to you, you definitely want to check it out. And for as little as $1 a month, you get access to Iota, you get access to the patron chat channel, all sorts of other things that we can think of to throw our patrons' way over the course of the coming year, of which we have a few thoughts. So I can call them right now because they're there. They're just not there.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously from there, if you go to higher levels of patron support, we have our patron-only show called Off the Rails. It's every 2 weeks where we talk about off-the-rails stuff. It's never hockey-related, but we might talk about TV, movies, food.
Books.
We're probably going to have to talk about juice.
Yeah, apparently. It's a contentious topic.
Next episode of OTR. Juice, smoothies, and bits. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your time. You can check out more of this on our YouTube channel if you haven't clicked subscribe already. And if you haven't joined our Discord channel, please do so. Discord.io/C4 podcast will get you there. You can hang out with the coolest Canucks podcast community there is. There are others out there. They're cool. We're just the coolest. Awesome. Anyway, bye, everyone.